over half of Japanese students in nationwide test score 0% in English speaking section. This is an article from the great Sora News 24, everyone. One that caught my eye and had my jaw dropped to the floor because 0 with a huge question mark? Are you kidding me? This is true, all right? And it is something that it surprises me, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, I understand. From the years and years and years of me and Adam living in Japan and helping people who are practicing their English and improving their English from young to old, we've seen a good amount of them, majority of them, struggling with the language, majority of them asking questions, still speaking in Japanese and not being able to have even a simple conversation.
True. Yeah.
So, well, let's read a little bit more into this article, everyone. I'm probably not going to read the whole thing, but let's check it out. In April, Japan's Ministry of Education conducted a National Academic Ability and Educational Conduction Survey. That's a mouthful right there. So they did a test. They did a test, okay? To measure the abilities of 6th-year elementary school students and 3rd-year middle school students. Okay.
Oh, is that what is that? Shourokunensei.
So Shourokunensei.
Shusan.
Shusan.
Okay.
So, all right.
Yeah, that's pretty wide.
In the mid-range, but from what I understand, English is really taught from middle school, right?
Yeah.
So maybe from
more.
Yeah.
I mean, they're trying to change it,
right?
but yeah, from Chuichi around is where they get serious. Yeah.
The tests are conducted every year, and this was the first time since 2019 that middle school students were tested on their English abilities.
Ooh.
Okay.
So
it's been a while.
Yeah.
COVID happened.
Yep. Speaking
and,
not happening. Okay.
You don't look at my mouth. Of course, no speaking.
Yeah.
One of the key things to children learning a language is watching somebody's mouth move.
True.
To see how the sounds come out. They can listen, but if they don't see the mouth, there's a big disconnection right there.
Yeah.
And that's how people can actually read lips. You don't even have to listen to. Some people are really good at just reading the person's mouth movement. So spies being able to read your mouth. Everyone's covering up their faces. So there's no mouth readings. Here we go. The English test was divided into 4 skill sets: listening, reading, writing, and speaking, right? Very, common 4 things that you need to do to be able to be fluent, to have communication in a language. Okay. The students did the best in their listening. So that's good. Listening is really important part of learning a language. So that's one of the basic steps. So that's really good to see. But at the bottom of their scores was speaking. It says the average score was just 12.4% for the kids who were speaking. Okay. Wow. Even more startling, 63.1% of the test takers got a 0 for the English speaking section, failing to satisfactorily answer any of the 5 questions it contained.
Wow.
0.
That's tough. That's kuyashi. Very tough.
Okay. Now, these can be pretty difficult questions that can be coming through on these tests, because we know, I'm a big advocate of saying, like, tests don't really mean that you are good or bad at something.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
It's about how much experience, and you're looking at what situation you're in, if you're able to overcome or do that thing that you need to do. Yes or no. So in this case, this test that they had to answer for, they speak with, was it had the kids listening to a native English speaker talk about the differences between disposable plastic bag usage between shoppers in New Zealand and in Japan.
Okay.
After which, then they were given 60 seconds, 1 minute, to organize their ideas, and then having to express themselves in English within 30 seconds about the topic they just heard.
Oh, okay. That's tough.
So you listen to it. I don't even know. It doesn't say how long they were listening to it.
Yeah.
About plastic bags.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they get a minute to, like, okay, stop, think, to just be like, yabe, Yabe. Right?
全然わかるない。全然。
And then 30 seconds to say something
Yeah.
about it. And that's pretty tough because it's like, when are you going to use that kind of conversation?
Mhm.
Is that important for
To
the
you.
kids?
Yeah, exactly.
What kind of like practice that they have
Right.
about plastic bags
Right.
and environmentally friendly things? Like, it's pretty tough.
And it's a pretty difficult topic to discuss for kids too.
Right,
In general, you know what I mean? It's not like, hey, what's your favorite food, pizza or hot dogs? It's like, talk about world problems.
You can't get deep. It would just be like surface level.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't
I
use
don't know, like
plastic bags.
plastic in the ocean.
Yeah, bad.
You know? And then in comparison, there was another test that was done in 2019 that had a much simpler setup. And it was telling the kids, pretend you are in You wa nani shi ni Nippoe, but it's gyaku version. And they're asking you about your dream. So an English TV crew is like, hey, tell me about your dream in English. Bam. Yeah. Okay.
That's
maybe
easier. It's more related to me.
Right. Yeah. And I think you'd be able to try to even puzzle piece words together.
Yeah.
To express what you'd want to do with your dreams, with your life, with a career, with any of that kind of stuff. So right away, there you go, is one reason why like tests, I feel like, aren't that great, because they don't prove 100% that half the kids have zero speaking ability in English.
Yeah.
It shows that they have zero speaking ability in talking about plastic
bags. Yeah, exactly.
Which then I think about, is that important to talk about? And that's like one of the biggest things like I had in my mind when I found this article of like, yes, the government is like, Japan needs more English speakers for the future of Japan, right? It makes sense. I feel like that's what a lot of people do in other countries, especially if you're looking at like non-first world countries. Right,
yeah.
People are learning English. Why? Because they see there's better opportunity than in whatever country they're living in, possibly speaking their mother language, to be able to use a different language, English, in most cases, because right now, in this time, in this world, that's the universal language, and have that as like a big goal to be like, if you do this, if you can speak this, if you can communicate in this language, opportunities open up. If you want to move somewhere, if you want to work at this type of job, it's huge. Where I feel like, is there any of that in Japan? Do people is the government, are the teachers expressing how it could be beneficial for the students? Do the students care?
In my experience teaching, I always found that there was like the class with the teacher who lived abroad and spoke English very well, and the difference between that and the class where the teacher was just teaching English because it's part of the curriculum. They're trying to be enthusiastic about it, but they don't really have any desire to like go abroad or live abroad or work abroad. They're just kind of just teaching the curriculum. And I found that the most enthusiastic teachers had the most enthusiastic students. And the least enthusiastic teachers had the least enthusiastic students. Of course, there were a few oddballs, and I say that in the best term, like students in those low like classes where the teacher's not interested that much, but they really wanted to learn English because maybe at home they had an English environment, or their father or mother likes English music or something like that. They like Disney movies. And then in between was like the teacher who wants to learn English themselves, and they want their students to have that opportunity in the future to go in. And they would always say like, I'm not good at English because I didn't study in class, so I want you guys to have a good time with Mr. Adam Sensei. Like, I'm here to help you, Mr. Adam. So
they see the benefits.
They see benefits, right?
That it could be useful.
Yeah. And of course, in the class, there's always students who are not really interested in English at all. And I've had like a student or two say like in English that they don't like English. but they were really good at it.
Wow.
was like,
Okay.
what?
Okay.
What? That doesn't make. Why are you so good at English? And then she's like, oh, I don't know. I like to speak or something like
Okay.
that.
Okay. So there you go.
Yeah,
They
you
see it.
know, yeah,
They
they
see it
see it.
as a tool
A
for
tool. Yeah,
communication
exactly. Yeah,
instead of a subject to study.
right. It's not. It's not a subject for some of them. It's like they like music. For example, there was one girl. She really liked this band. Maybe I think it was like Green Day or something. She really liked Green Day.
Okay.
She was like listening to Green Day, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I like Green Day too." And she was like all about Green Day. And her
Yeah.
English
Yeah. Yeah.
was great. Like it was so good. And
Yeah.
she wanted to just go and meet foreign people and like study in America or something like that. Like, but it wasn't because
Overseas. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
she wanted to be a lawyer or to work in English. She just wanted to sing
Okay.
the songs of
She
Green.
had a passion.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
for that,
Of of pop culture,
of pop
of
culture.
music
Yeah,
from this certain area, which happens to be English speaking.
English speaking. Yeah, some
Yeah.
students were like, I want to be a professional baseball player, like
Mm.
Ichiro. They wanted to be like Ichiro, and Ichiro
Oh.
speaks English, or like Keisuke Honda speaks Italian. So they want
Okay.
to practice and get better at English now because
Mm.
they see those players and they speak English and they want to be like ready when they're professionals. Just
Ooh,
be able
see,
to do
so there
like
you go.
it's
That's
like
another
yeah,
great example of them seeing it as this is a future goal.
yeah,
Having something
in my
towards,
pocket, like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
as
yeah.
like a tool.
Right, right.
Yeah,
And to something to strive for,
right.
to work towards,
Yeah,
compared to, I think, majority of the people in Japan see as like it's just a subject I have to do.
right.
We have, oh, it's English time, whatever. Here comes MJ Sensei into the classroom and whatever.
Here he
I don't
is.
like English.
I'll have fun this class because he's a nice guy, but I don't
Yeah,
want
and
to.
that's it.
Yeah,
That's it. Because once this is over, then
we
I'm
go to
not using
math.
English. We don't need it. I don't
Exactly.
speak with my friends. I don't speak with
Right.
my family.
Yeah.
Even if I'm watching Hollywood movies, I'm changing it to Japanese so I
Right.
can enjoy it more
Yeah.
naturally.
Yeah.
And there's just zero necessity. They see like
Right.
Japan's awesome. Like I think Japan's awesome. That's why I'm living here, you know?
Yeah.
And probably majority of people do in Japan. So they're like, why would I leave Japan? Why? So then why do you need English?
Exactly.
And that goes to just like a question, like to everyone to ask themselves, like, if you are in your out of school, when you were in school, how did you think about English? And
Right.
now comparing it to now, is there a goal? Is it just this really like strong hobby that you have, a passion, like a kind of like, how would you even say that? It's a hobby that you have so much passion for
Uh-huh.
that you're not asking for anything in return. You just want to do it so much.
If it's out of your life, you just feel like it should be in there somehow.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then I think if you kind of figure out where your heart is or your mind for English, what category you put that in can help you just accept where your level's at. If you're like at a low level and you want to get here, like, okay, you have to understand that you want to be a lawyer. So, hey, it's going to take a while, but that's a really great goal. Keep on working towards it.
Exactly.
Or I speak broken English, but I just want to use it conversation and be able to help, some tourists every once in a while. Then, all right, maybe you could be totally fine where you are and just continue to enjoy it instead of having
hammering
pressure,
yourself,
stress. About you don't know what the difference between someone and somebody is. It's like,
no one's going to ask you that. Exactly.
Right.
Excuse me, mister. I was walking in Shibuya and I just forgot. What's the difference between someone and somebody?
There were probably so many kids. So many of those kids, half of those kids who were taking that test were like, どうでもいいこのプラスチックバッグ. Let us know in the comments what you think about this topic, everyone. It's a very sharp topic, but one that's important for Japan and the future of Japan, I believe, and especially for everyone here, because if you're watching this and you made it this far, you probably enjoy English and you have a good grasp of it. So keep it up.
Yeah.
Like the video and subscribe to the channel.
Yep. But that's it. We'll see you on the next step.